Hello, good morning and welcome back to Disused Railway Diaries with me, Colin The Head. Today what we're going to be doing on today's episode is we're going to be exploring what's left of the 631 yard long Brierley Tunnel, which was part of the Hull and Barnsley. The tunnel has been filled up to 300 yards in length with concrete to support the Hemsworth Bypass, but there is 300 yards of the actual tunnel left, still intact. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going to the cutting down at Brierley. We're going to be abseiling into the cutting, and then we're going to be exploring the interior of the tunnel, and we're going to be taking a look at the swampy ravine, because obviously the tunnel suffers with a lot of water ingress. So it should be a good day. We're just waiting for our safety expert to emerge from his abode. Once our dedicated safety team have joined the quest, we will be getting on with the show. I'm Colin The Head and welcome to Disused Railway Diaries. Welcome back to Disused Railway Diaries with me, Colin The Head, and we're currently situated here at Brierley Tunnel. On today's particular episode, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be entering the 625 yard long Brierley Tunnel here at Brierley, which was part of the Hull and Barnsley. Now this was the last tunnel on the line, and we're currently here, right, just on the top of the tunnel. Now obviously access is really hard at this tunnel. The cutting resembles a boggy swamp, and there's constant water ingress from this here culvert, which has made a waterfall down the cutting to the back of the tunnel, and all the water's constantly falling into the cutting below me. So we're roughly halfway down the cutting here. And it's a steep-sided cutting, as we've always said. It is a steep-sided cutting. So what we're doing, we're just getting the safety guy to sort us out with the ropes, and we're going to make our descent to the western face of Brierley Tunnel. The cutting itself is 70 foot deep, and it was done in two stages for the Brierley Tunnel cutting. It was cut down to the actual top level of the tunnel, and then there were two vertical side walls, which you can see behind me here, to the actual cutting floor. And the reason why this was done was because of cost. It was cheaper to get the railway where it needed to be, and the cutting was never finished, which makes access really difficult. Like I said, this is the safest way down to the tunnel. This is the safest way to the tunnel, so yeah, it's going to be a challenging day. Right, so here we are at the bottom of Brierley Tunnel cutting here at the western portal of Brierley Tunnel. Now I've never been here before, so it's the first time I've ever been down here, and can I say, it's flooded. You've got loads of water coming down that off that flooded culvert behind us, and you can really see the steep-sidedness of the cutting. This is obviously the little sister of Barnsdale Tunnel. It's half the length of Barnsdale for a start. Barnsdale comes in at 1,226 yards, and obviously both three air shafts. This is only 621 yards long and has only got one ventilation shaft. The spalling on the front, there's a lot of spalling up front at the face of the tunnel. As you can see, there's bricks missing. That freeze-thaw effect. Obviously this particular tunnel's had no maintenance since closure in 1967. 7th of August 1967, this tunnel last saw a working. So obviously since the capping and the blocking and the burying of the eastern side, this wall's been put up. Obviously there's railings at top for bats to get in and out, because there is a colony of bats that do live here and they are protected. That's why the actual tunnel's been kept like it has. Obviously there's an inspection door at front, and it's been blocked off with modern breeze blocks. I've just took a quick look inside the tunnel, and it's flooded. It's going to be a wet Disused Railway Diaries this. Right, so we're inside. Obviously it's flooded. There's a lot of water, and obviously we've had nearly a month and a half worth of rain here in Yorkshire, so the tunnel is exceptionally flooded and the cutting is really damp and it's a drank affair. But we'll move on from that. The condition from the tunnel, obviously we've got loads of water ingress on through. You can see it coming through. At the top there, we've got a lot of water ingress, but over the top of this tunnel it's a lot of fields and stuff, so you'd expect water ingress all the way through the tunnel. And obviously that's evident with the amount of water standing in the tunnel. And it's only draining out through that door at the back of us. That's the draining door for it, so everything, so all water will drain out of that particular portal. Right, so I'm at this recess there, and it's been dredged, this tunnel. You can see former recesses. See, look up well, to be fair, the flood water is quite deep. In fact, it's like a river. It's like walking through an underground river. So, the recesses, obviously, look at light we've got here now. Look at the recesses, obviously they're decorated in typical Hull and Barnsley fashion. In fact, they're exactly the same as what they'd find in Barnsdale Tunnel. But the thing about these recesses is the fact that you can see bottom. You can actually see the full shape out of the water in this particular tunnel. But that's just because the level of line were a lot lower. In Barnsdale Tunnel, you can't see the bottom. And I always thought they were just arches. I didn't know they were full. An arch on an arch upside down. So that's just the recesses, and they're staggered at a regular affair all the way through the tunnel. So that's the recesses. So the upside down arch, I always thought they were just arches in cest, but they're actually a full brick recess, and they've actually got a brick floor as standard. And obviously they'll be the same in Barnsdale Tunnel as well. That's a really good example of an Hull and Barnsley Tunnel recess. Here at Brierley Tunnel, in the flooded Brierley Tunnel. We've got sleeper bolts that are left in tunnel. So obviously, this has been used to anchor down tracks. See, there's still stuff left from when it were actually... That's an Hull and Barnsley sleeper bolt, believe it or believe it not, used on the Hull and Barnsley. And it's just been left here in Brierley Tunnel. So there's still actually stuff left from when tracks were actually down, which is rare nowadays, I've got to say. Usually most of it's been stripped out and got well gone. So we'll take that away as a remember of that day. And we'll put that in my pocket. We're here at the centre of Brierley Tunnel, 300 yards in from... We're halfway through basically. We're at the only ventilation shaft that exists here in Brierley Tunnel, and it's accessible today, we can actually see. And it's coming, obviously the red ochre that's seeping into the tunnel from water ingress is very apparent here. Just going to take your arm, the red ochre. It's everywhere, it's an iron deposit which gets into the water table of the ground and actually deposits as like a brown, sludgy, horrible slime. It's everywhere. It's in mud. It's muddy affair. It's plug. But the plug, this is where the plug is. So obviously 300 yards of this tunnel has been filled with concrete. And this is it. This is ventilation shaft. It's everywhere. There's red ochre everywhere. Right, we're just underneath ventilation shaft here at Brierley Tunnel on the concrete slug which exists. And we're at the roof. This is the roof of the tunnel. And obviously you can see the cap at the top. But look at all that red ochre that's seeping down this here ventilation shaft. The water ingress at this point is absolutely extreme. You can see where it's been making stalactites off at tunnel ceiling. That's all red ochre. That's all iron deposits that are just coming down tunnel wall. But look at tunnel lining as well. Come over to this side. You can see where it's spalled. There's been a lot of spall in here where it gets cold. Can you see all the spalling? Look at it all, where it's blowing all the front of the bricks off. This will turn into a shaft of ice, this is in winter. When it gets below freezing, all this water's going to freeze. And obviously there's mass evidence that it's been under freeze-thaw effect. Look at it, it's everywhere. It's hard as well, I'm tapping it when we talk. So, I'm on it's aggregate in it. It's an aggregate plug. It's not even concrete. I thought it was concrete, but it's not. Right, so the plug is actually made out of it's filled with aggregate. There's a concrete plug at the eastern portal, but the majority of the tunnel has been filled with aggregate, as you can see. This was done in the 90s, when they built the Hemsworth Bypass. It was done in the 90s, and obviously they just bulldozed hardcore aggregate up to air shafts to halfway through tunnel. So this is as far as you can go, you can't go no further. Obviously this is tunnel roof. So this tunnel was the bore was 21 foot tall up to the actual haunch of the actual tunnel, which is the centre. So we're roughly on the tunnel ceiling, and there's loads of spalling. Look at all this spalling, it's everywhere you look. There's loads of freeze-thaw effect at this part of the tunnel. It's a very damp, wet, dreary, horrible, well, I won't say it's an horrible affair, but it's very wet. Right, so this is as far as I can go. I can't go any further. It's aggregate mixed with concrete, I reckon. I don't know, but it's loose. I thought it were ready mix. I thought they pumped it full of ready mix, but they haven't. They pumped it full of aggregate, and it's like it's sat here waiting to set. So this is as far as we can get. We can't get any further in.
Get digging.
I don't know, I've been told that it was filled with concrete at the bypass end, so the bypass end was filled with concrete. And obviously here, it's just aggregate fill. It's loose aggregate. It's loose aggregate. It's all loose, and it's turning into mud with water that's coming out the air shaft. But yeah, that's it. Wow, look at it, it looks mint from here. If you look back, looking back, look at that with Paulson's light. Get some pictures of that. We've got a spalling brick here, and this is obviously danger in these particular Victorian railway tunnels. Because you can see that brick hanging off, and eventually the freeze-thaw carries on, eating into that crack. That brick will just drop to the floor eventually one day. And there's a number of them. There's a number of the spalling bricks. There's obviously this one, there's a number of them. There's also a step-line fracture that we've seen that runs all the way across the arch of the tunnel. And that is all the way across. So we've got the spalling brick, and there's a number of them actually. Obviously with the amount of water that's falling in through this air shaft, I would imagine there'd be a lot of freeze-thaw effect, like I've said, in winter. This will just be an ice out, this. We'll just talk about the blue windows as well. You can see the support for the shaft. These blue windows will here to support the weight of the shaft above it. So you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 rings. No, it's a 3-ringed air shaft. So that was a big tunnel lining at the roof at the haunch. And obviously that's supporting the weight of the shaft. So the shaft was built on top of these blue windows here. So all that is supporting that weight of that shaft. And obviously the shaft which was dug down to actually sink Brierley Tunnel. But there's loads of spalling in this here air shaft, as you can see, loads of it. There's tons of it. The cap is obviously just a couple of rails covered with concrete, prefab concrete at the top, rails at the top. So that's that. That's the air shaft, and it's the only one here that's really tall. So the job of the air shafts, what they do, is the reason why they're always a wet, soggy affair like this, is one, the water that cascades down into the tunnel drags oxygen down with. believe it or not, believe it not. So all this falling water will naturally pull air in from the surface. And another reason why this is so wet is because they're travelling through layers of rock. And plus, obviously, there are weak spot in here, it's tunnel. So the fracture on the tunnel, obviously, at this point, it's been a bit weaker. And obviously, you've got a lot of weight in the form of water coming onto the tunnel lining and its support. And what it's done, it's created a step-line fracture, which is in the ventilation shaft area. You can see the fracture which runs all the way across the arms of the tunnel. And this will have been down to just solely down to pure weight of the water, which is cascading down. And obviously this water will transmit into the tunnel lining, and it will cause weakening of the actual lining of the tunnel, which it has done, and you can see it there. You can see that step-line fracture running all the way across the arm, and it's in the shaft area as well. And we've got a lot of spoiling as well. I keep coming on to spoiling, and that's the freeze-thaw. You'll get that in this area at the tunnel as well, where there's a lot of water ingress, which we've got. There's a lot of splatter as well. This is splatter that's come from air shaft. But underneath it, if you scratch it away, you've got soot. You've got soot deposits from when the actual tunnel were in use. This is all the black soot. But the red ochre is splatter. Basically, this air shaft must drop some really a lot of amount of water into this here tunnel, and there's evidence to support that with the splatter. It's everywhere you look. There's loads of splatter of ochre everywhere you look, and that's not seepage. That's splatter at water. So it just shows you how it gets wet. Completely drenches this area at the tunnel, this air shaft. The walls are iron ore mud. I keep saying about it, but all mud here is iron ore. There's loads of deposits of iron ore. So the ochre, yeah, it's a big feature in this tunnel, and it's splattered all over. As you can see, we've come further down the air shaft to the tunnel wall, and the ochre's gone. And all we've got now is the soot. We've got the soot lining on the walls. But obviously, you can see where it's collected, and that's the soot from when the actual tunnel were in use. But further down the tunnel, there's the air shaft. It's splattered with ochre. It's everywhere you look. That's constantly going into the tunnel. That's not a floodwater mark, that's a splatter mark. But this part of the tunnel does flood. This tunnel completely floods right up to this air shaft. So we're quite lucky with the amount of rain that we've had that we can actually get in. Right, so we've got a tide line which runs all the way down both walls of the tunnel. And it's a white tide line, this tide line here. Now this suggests this tunnel actually has been in flood. It's actually been underwater at some point. Now we've looked at it and we've assessed it, and this tide line runs all the way down the wall of the tunnel, and it's 6 foot. This suggests when they first built the wall they didn't put the door in. The door's for drainage. And it runs all the way around the tunnel. It's everywhere you look. That is a tide line. This tunnel's been under serious flooding at some stage in its life. And it's the whiteness. Now the floor is white aggregate. So obviously this will have transmitted up onto the wall and formed this here tide mark, which is here. So this tunnel has flooded under its own water ingress at some point, and since they built the bypass and they shut the door or bricked up the opening or the portal, this tunnel did flood. So I would suggest that door in the modern brickwork is solely for drainage, and it is actually draining the tunnel as we speak. The first thing I noticed when I walked into the tunnel is all the water were going through the door, and this is to stop this. I mean, can you imagine how many thousands of tons of water would have been put onto that wall just by physically this tunnel flooding and a seep through all bricks? So I reckon, yeah, it's definitely flooded in its modern life. It hasn't flooded in its use life, because like you say, it had natural drainage to either end of the tunnel, to the east and to the west. But since the plugging and the bricking up of the front of the tunnel, this tunnel's been underwater. Right, so we're just at this point in the tunnel, and actually we're going to fetch you towards brickwork again. Now at this point in the tunnel there's 2 sets of brickwork that marry up. Now at this point, we've deemed this as the summit of the line. It's the end of the 8 mile climb from Ramsbrook Junction. Bear in mind this line was still climbing. So it got to this point in the tunnel, and there's a change in gradient on the tunnel actual line in the wall. So you've got a marker brick here, as you can see. And if you follow it up the tunnel wall, you can see there's a step line marrying up of the brickwork. That's what I'll call it. It's marrying up of the brickwork. And I kind of say it's a shoddy affair. Now at this point and stage of the construction of the Hull and Barnsley, can I say, money were running out, and, you know, the line were massively in debt, and obviously you can see how much of a shoddy job it has been. Now if you follow this line all the way across top of the tunnel, there's actually bricks missing. Let's just find the missing bricks. There's actually bricks missing in the actual marrying up of the brickwork, and that runs all the way across the tunnel to the other marker which is on the other side. So there were a marker, there were a point here where the actual gradient changed. Now let's take a look at the flood water. We've got flood water to us west, which puddles on this side of the tunnel, and we've also got flood water to us east. But the flood water stops here. It's as if it's on basically it's the top of the summit. We're falling that way and we're falling that way, but there's no flood water here. And the tunnel wall, as the brickwork, has been married at a changing gradient here, and it's been marked up. So this is the end of the 8 mile climb from Ramsbrook Junction. This is where the line started to descend into Barnsley, and it's roughly 20 yards away from the central ventilation shaft. Finding more of these changes in the levels of the brickwork, and every one it drops down. There's actually pivots in the brickwork, but every chain length, what you'll see in the actual wall of the tunnel is these bricks, and they're stood proud. These bricks are stood proud, and every time you come to one of these bricks, you've got one on either side of the tunnel. Now at these bricks, you'll see there'll be a joint in the brickwork, and this joint will go all the way across the arch of the tunnel. So they're basically points in the brickwork where the actual gradient of the tunnel will fall towards the west. So every time you get a chain, they'll reset the brickwork, and that obviously they're in chain lengths, and you can see they're in chain lengths. So you've got one there, you've got one there, and obviously here. And every time you come to one of these bricks on either side of the actual tunnel, the brickwork will fall away to the west to get the gradient of the actual tunnel. And I kind of say they're a little bit shoddy. Right, so we're back into the flood water now. We're travelling towards the west. So we've explored as much as we can see of Brierley Tunnel. But we're back into the flood water. So obviously this will fell to the west, this tunnel. So the flood water does collect at the west. What can I say about the flood water? It will come to the top of your wellies. There's a bit of water as well. Right, so we've just been in Brierley Tunnel, and here we are back in the Swampy Ravine, which is the western part of Brierley Tunnel here at Brierley. Can I say it's been quite an epic adventure up to press. Yeah, so we're out now at Brierley Tunnel. We're just going to have a cup of tea down here before we make us ascent back up the steep sided cutting. And I keep talking about these cuttings, they're extremely steep sided. It's probably one of the most inaccessible railway tunnels in Britain. It is very inaccessible, but it is an imposing structure, as you can see. Quite a grand affair, Brierley Tunnel, can I add. It's proper hard to get to this tunnel, I must admit. But a screw fixed rope has done its job. Right, so this is the end of Disused Railway Diaries, Brierley Tunnel. We've been, we've seen, we've explored. We've seen the air shaft, we've seen the flooding, we've seen the bricks falling. We've had a complicated, intricate climb in and out of the deep, 70-foot deep cutting. Yeah, so that's it. I'm Colin The Head and this is Disused Railway Diaries. Bye.